Let's travel back in time to when Russia was just starting. Picture wide-open plains and thick forests where East Slavic tribes made their homes. These were the ancestors of modern Russians. They built villages and traded goods with their neighbors. The land was good for farming, and there were lots of animals with valuable furs. Then, in the 9th century, a Viking leader named Rurik came to Novgorod and became the ruler. This is considered the start of the first Russian state. Rurik's family continued to rule, and they made Kiev the capital of a strong kingdom called Kievan Rus'. Kievan Rus' was a busy trading center connecting the Byzantine Empire in the south with Scandinavia in the north. Kievan Rus' adopted Christianity from the Byzantine Empire, which changed its culture forever. Churches and monasteries became important places for learning and art. The Cyrillic alphabet, developed by missionaries from Byzantium, became the basis of the Russian language we use today. In the 13th century, the Mongols invaded and things got tough. Mongol rule, called the Tatar yoke, lasted for a long time, but even then, some Russian areas, especially Moscow, started to become stronger. The leaders of Moscow got more powerful and eventually fought back against the Mongols. Ivan III, also known as Ivan the Great, finally defeated the Mongols in 1480. He called himself Tsar of all Russia. This was the start of a strong, unified Russia ruled by tsars. The tsars conquered lots of land in Siberia and the Caucasus. This gave them access to valuable resources like furs, wood, and minerals. These resources, along with farming, made Russia wealthy. The Mongol invasion in the 13th century had a big impact on Russia. Genghis Khan led the Mongol armies and they conquered and destroyed many places. The Mongols were fierce warriors and they ruled over the Russian lands. This time was called the Tatar yoke, and it lasted for over 200 years. The Mongols made Russian cities pay them and controlled trade routes, which hurt the economy. But even though it was a hard time, there was some good that came from it. Russian leaders learned some Mongol military and government practices. Also, because Russia was separated from Western Europe, it developed its own unique identity and strong belief in Orthodox Christianity. Peter the Great, who was Tsar in the late 1600s and early 1700s, changed Russia a lot. He wanted Russia to be modern, like Western Europe, so Peter traveled to Western Europe undercover to learn about things like shipbuilding and navigation. When he came back, Peter made big changes to the Russian military, government, and schools. He built a new navy, made the army better, and made nobles go to school. One of the most important things Peter did was build St. Petersburg in 1703. This new capital city, located on the Baltic Sea, connected Russia to Western Europe and brought new ideas, trade, and culture. St. Petersburg became a symbol of Russia's modernization and its growing power. Tsarist Russia became very powerful and wealthy, but most of the money belonged to the Tsar and the rich people. Most Russians were peasants who were poor and worked hard on the land. They weren't happy with the Tsar. Factories were being built, but not as quickly as in Western Europe, which caused more problems. In the 1800s, people started wanting change. Writers, thinkers, and revolutionaries spoke out against the Tsar, wanting more freedom and fairness. This led to the 1905 revolution, where people protested and the Tsar had to make some changes, but it wasn't enough. World War I was too much for the Tsar. The war made all of Russia's problems worse. In 1917, a group called the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, took over. They promised peace, land, and food. The Bolsheviks created the Soviet Union, a communist country. They got rid of private property, took control of businesses, and made farmers work together on big farms. They wanted everyone to be equal. Under Joseph Stalin, the Soviet Union built lots of factories and became very powerful. But Stalin was a cruel leader, and millions of people died because of his policies. Even so, the Soviet Union helped defeat Nazi Germany in World War II and became a superpower. When the Soviet Union ended in 1991, everything changed again. It was hard to switch from the old communist system to a new one where people could own businesses. There were lots of problems with the economy, government, and everyday life. President Boris Yeltsin made big changes to the economy quickly, but this caused prices to go way up, and many people lost their jobs. But some people became very rich during this time. Later, when oil and gas prices went up, the economy started to get better. Under President Vladimir Putin, Russia tried to become a powerful country again. Russia has lots of natural resources like good farmland and oil and gas. These have always been important for Russia. Russia sells a lot of oil and gas to other countries, which makes it a lot of money. This has given Russia power in the world. Russia also has lots of minerals, trees, and fresh water. It's a big producer of diamonds, gold, and other valuable things. But because Russia depends so much on these resources, it can have problems when prices go down. When oil prices dropped in 2014, and other countries punished Russia for taking Crimea, it showed that Russia needs to find other ways to make money. Russia has some tough problems to solve in the 21st century. It still depends too much on selling natural resources, which can be risky. Russia needs to find other ways to make money, come up with new ideas, and get people from other countries to invest in Russia. Russia has been getting better at technology, like computer programming, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. Russia also needs better schools, hospitals, and roads to help people live better lives. And to really help the economy, Russia needs to deal with corruption, make sure laws are followed, and make it easier for people to invest money there.